Hello, welcome to another Sims 4 speed build. I didn't know what to call this, so I'm calling it the 2-for-1 house deal. It's super expensive. It's not cheap by any means, but it's like two houses on one lot type of thing. So the idea behind this is I'm sure it's this way in a lot of old towns, but I have barely lived anywhere else than the town I'm living in now. So I only have my town as a frame of reference. But in my town where I live, we have the old part of town, the part of town that was built sort of built up as the original pioneer village was kind of dwindling and being taken down. These houses, these old Victorian and Foursquare and colonial type houses were being built up around the pioneer village that was here, right? Okay, so a lot of times what happened back in those days, I think we're talking like 1880s to 1920s, give or take a little bit, that era in there. So right around the turn of that century, the city was, well, they wanted people to come and live, right? They wanted to encourage new residents and everything. So they would sometimes give away land for really cheap. And a builder would come in and they would build themselves, they would buy a single lot, a single solitary property. And because there weren't a ton of building codes back in those days, if any at all, they would build themselves a house towards one side of the lot, and then they would build an identical or almost identical house on the other side of the lot and kind of separate them. Oftentimes they have shared driveways in between them or, whatever, but they were essentially two fully separated and separately functional houses. They're not in any way attached, not even semi attached houses, although I don't understand what a semi attached house is, anyways, but they are not at all in any way attached. And the builder lives in one and rents the other one out for extra income. Okay, I just paused my voiceover to go look it up to see what a semi-attached or semi-detached house is, and basically it's a duplex where, like I built for the BFFs, where one wall is touching, but there's nothing else on the other three sides of the house. So yes, these are fully detached. They are not in any way, shape, or form attached houses or apartments or duplexes or anything like that. They are fully separated houses, but they are on the same lot. So, like I was saying, we have a bunch of these in our town, especially in the really, really old neighborhoods where somebody would come in, build, buy a single lot, build two houses on it, live in one, and rent out the other. Now, oftentimes these houses are nearly identical, but not perfectly identical. Usually, the house that the builder lived in would be slightly bigger, or there would be slight differences. In this case, the green one has a bump out at the dining room, making the dining room a slightly larger room, whereas the White House does not have that. And the White House, in my mind, would be the rental house. I hope that all made sense. um, but yeah, so that's the idea I was going for with these houses. Also, the other thing I was going for with these houses was that they would be slightly outdated, a little bit older. Well, obviously older. They're old houses. They were built, way back. But they haven't been updated in a while. So they still have the sort of peachy kind of not great wall paint inside, and this house is like a brick house that was once, I don't know, maybe partially stuccoed over or something, but now it's starting to wear away and you can see the bricks underneath. That's kind of what I imagined this to be when I used that wallpaper on it. The only thing that I would say that looks or seems updated is the greenhouse changed to yellow, in case you didn't notice that yet. The greenhouse changed to yellow. It's yellow now. I didn't, I should have left it green. It would have matched the vibe a little bit better. But I wanted one to be really bright and airy and light, and the other to be, I wanted them to be opposites, basically. But my daughter said the yellow did not look good. It looked bad with the whole setup. So I eventually changed that to gray. So if anything, the only thing that's really been updated on these houses is that the slightly larger house has new siding on it, new gray siding, but nothing's been done to the inside or anything really. And I even tried to do like really 80s, 90s landscaping outside. I just tried to make them look not run down, but just kind of outdated and not maybe remodeled in a while or whatever type houses. That's the vibe that I was going for. Obviously, they've been remodeled at some point in their history because they are very old houses, probably from the 1900s, but they haven't been updated since like the 70s or the 80s, let's say. That was the whole feeling that I was going for while I was building these. And I probably spent too much time focusing on the outside in this video. I think I need to learn to balance a little bit better, focusing, because more than half of the video, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, more than half of the video is focusing on the outside, and then the remainder is the inside. And because of that, I could not show the decorating of all the rooms. So I need to learn to balance those a little bit better. Maybe in the future, what I'll do is like just build the structures up and show you that, and then focus on the inside. I don't know. I'm still learning how to do these apartment multi-house lot things right for the speed builds. I'm still working out the, bugs here in this, but I think this one turned out okay, despite the fact that I was trying to cram two full-size house builds into one single video. I think it turned out okay. Not my greatest video, but okay. I'm happy enough with it. But yeah, the builder side, so the yellow house, and you don't have to do it this way. You could say have an older couple who owns the lot, and so they live in the ever so slightly smaller house, and they're renting out the slightly bigger house. Really, it's only bigger in the dining room, and the dining room has one row of extra tiles, and that's really it. So it's not hugely bigger, it just gives the house a slightly different shape to it. But I imagine you could have a story where an older couple is living in the white and brown house and they're renting out the other house to a family. Also, this is completely base game. I don't know how I pulled it off. I don't even think I did it on purpose. I think I just started doing it. And base game really works well with these older type houses. These more, I don't know, I kind of modeled this off of like a four square house, or I don't know, something more classical like that. Not Victorian. It's definitely not a Victorian house, but I don't know the exact architecture style. It was the feeling I went for was kind of like a house that I lived in for a good chunk of my childhood. Even though it looks nothing like the house I lived in. The house I lived in was a four square, and it almost looks like it has little elements here and there of colonial style in certain areas and stuff. And I don't know, I guess I just kind of mixed styles. Anyways, I don't know how to categorize this house, is what I'm saying. But the point is, I lost my train of thought and now I have no idea what I was saying, honestly. Basically, you could have an older couple or you could have a family rent this out, whatever. I don't know. I don't remember what I was saying now. This voiceover is going so grand. Anyways, so for the brown and white house, I decorated it as if there's an older couple living there whose adult child has recently moved out or gone to university or whatever, and it's just the two of them now. And then the gray and white house I decorated as if there are, I think, three children living in it. And like a toddler, an infant, and a child is how the kids' bedrooms are decorated, and then of course the parents' bedrooms. Um, yeah, that's kind of. I mean, you can kind of tell from the backyards too. The backyard of the darker colored house, or the white and brown house, um, is very much set up for an older couple that maybe just does some gardening or whatever. But the other house has a monkey bars. Oh, that's what I was saying. This is all base game, and base game lends itself well to this kind of classic style of house. And the point that I was going to make was that you don't have to buy the for rent pack to use this. Again, like the BFFs, um, some of the apartment buildings that I've been, or duplexes, or whatever that I've been building lately, I have made them so that you can use them now with just base game. You could have a single solitary related family, uh, not a single family unit, but a single related family. So, like, the grandparents can live in the brown and white house, and their child's spouse, and their grandchildren can live in the gray house. Get what I'm saying? Yes, you have to assign beds and make sure the beds stay assigned to each of the Sims, and you might have to lock some doors to certain people so only certain people can enter certain areas. But for the most part, if you're playing with related Sims, does it really matter if they come and go from each other's houses? I don't think it does. I live next door to my mom, and we all come and go from each other's houses all the time. We check on each other's dogs, or if, like, I don't know, we left something running and we're going out of town or something, we go over to each other's houses and check or shut things off. Like, we're related, so we just come and go from each other's houses. And so you can play this in base game, and it's totally fine and it's workable. And I get so stuck in my ways sometimes that I never considered this before. I refused for many, 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 many years to build lots like this because it can be difficult to play. You have to do a lot of pretending and a lot of micromanaging sometimes, yes. And you can't have strangers living next to each other because it doesn't work very well with base game. But you can have families living next to each other that are related or best friends. But I just get so stuck in my ways. I can't see beyond that one issue. And then I'm like, no, I won't build these because there's no point in building these types of houses. And now I'm realizing that that was really silly. That there absolutely is a point in building these types of lots and houses and stuff. Now that I've talked your ear off for 15 plus minutes, let's go to the walkthrough so you can see all the different rooms fully decorated in both houses. Let's go do that now. Okay, so here's the two houses. I didn't do anything with the mailbox and I forgot outside trash cans. Whoops. Okay, well, I didn't do anything with the mailbox yet because I don't really like placing multiple mailboxes, and I know we're gonna get single mailboxes that allow for multi-use when For Rent comes out, but there is a mailbox there. So let's enter into the gray house first and we'll do a little look around. As you enter, you come into the living room. The stairs for upstairs are right by the door. You enter right directly into the living room. Then you walk through here and you get the dining room, slightly bigger than the other house, but not a ton bigger. Then you go through this door and it's a little office space, kind of messy, kind of cramped, a potty for toddlers and some toys. Over here is the basic kitchen, nothing fancy. Out here is the backyard. Again, nothing super fancy, just a basic backyard. Then we'll head upstairs. Here is the hallway, and as you can see, the hallway looks better and more normal when you're in first person mode rather than looking at it from above. We'll go into the parents' bedroom first. So this is the adult bedroom. And then there is a child or teenager, mostly child, I think, is what I decorated it for. So a child's bedroom. And then over here is a bedroom for an infant and or toddler. Cute little bedroom. Then we have a basic closet and an upstairs bathroom as well. Full upstairs bathroom, only half a bathroom downstairs. So let's go look at the other house. And then here is the brown and white house. As you enter in, again, identical in most ways to the other one. You enter into the living room, set up a little bit differently in this house. And then the dining room here, which is slightly smaller. Actually, looking at it this way, the dining room does feel a lot smaller than in the other house. Then the basic kitchen. There is a bathroom over here, pretty much identical to the other downstairs bathroom in the other house. For this house, this is just an empty-ish storage room. They are not using it as an office right now. So let's head upstairs. Again, empty hallway, but it looks much better in first person mode than it does in from above. An empty spare bedroom to do as you please with. Then a bedroom for a former teenager who has moved out recently. The closet again, but this one I actually put stuff in. And then the big bedroom. Nice, tidy, nicely decorated. Yeah, there you have it. A 2-for-1 house. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!